I had to study to get good grades, like everyone else. And that really made me mad because I didn't want to study it. I didn't really care about the subjects that were being taught in my school. And I didn't want to spend time buried in my books rather than doing something that I really wanted to do, like hanging out with my friends or playing some games or just being social. I didn't want to do that. Yet I still did it. I still spent so much time and I've honestly wasted it. Now you can obviously argue that education is important, and yes, it is, but you can make it so much more easier, which I've done. I have started to implement new techniques that made me literally get the same grades, even better grades, while studying so much less, man. I don't really study nowadays. Maybe like few hours a week max. And I still get the better grades than the nerds who study all day every day and all they do is study. Because honestly, for me, I don't know about you, but only studying and having only school in your life is like the only purpose, and yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I feel like that's a fail, man. I feel like you have to have a lot of different areas in your life for your life to be kind of entertaining and interesting. You cannot just have one singular thing. So that's why I've started to implement a lot of these new techniques that I've learned. And it wasn't like I've learned them in one day. It was like trial and error. I had to find them and try to implement them and do this over and over and over until I found like almost the perfect formula. This is what I'm going to tell you. Now, a Martin, I have never gotten worse grade than a B on like my final paper where all your grades for each subject is written down. I've never gotten worse than a B, and that means that in my country I've always got honors, which is crazy. Uh, my parents always ask me, "When do you learn, Martin? We never see you really study, but you still get all these grades as if you were studying the whole day, but you never see you study." That's powerful, man. And I want this to be you. Because it can be anyone, honestly. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, smart. It doesn't matter if you're not that intelligent. Everyone can do it. Chances are that you can get good grades if you study well enough. Because if you didn't need to study and still got good grades, which there are some people who do that, I had those people in my class. But it's like one person. If that was you, you wouldn't be watching this video. Am I right? I am right. So listen up. What you need to understand is that more studying isn't necessarily going to equate to a better, a grade, a higher score. It's really about how you understand the topic. And there are a few ways that you can learn a topic. Like, for example, you can attend the lectures, you can read a book, you can listen to an audiobook, etc. You know? The single best way to do that is to do self-testing. I'm telling you, man, self-testing is so overpowered currently. It's like the meta for studying, most effective tactic available. How do you actually do that? You take your notes that you write by hand in class so that you can actually remember the stuff that is being taught to you better. You take the notes that you've written by hand, you convert it into an electric form. It doesn't matter. It can be Word or Note app. It doesn't really matter what it is. Then when you convert it, you take it into some kind of AI. You can do ChatGPT, and you ask it, please create for this topic, question, and an answer, and do a list of this. Now you're going to have, sorry, you're going to have a list of questions, and then under that, answers. Then you just answer the questions and compare it to your answers. This is so much more powerful than just reading the notes or doing the fake work, which is just highlighting your notes, which isn't doing anything to. It isn't going to help you when you just highlight your notes. If you want more tips and tricks and like more streamlined way on how to learn all these studying techniques, go to the link in the description. I've created a course for students who are tired of learning all the time and studying and just want to take their time back while even improving their grades and getting the better grades than the nerds who have to study all the time. I've created for these people. If you are one of them, please go to the link in the description. It's going to help you so much. Now, imagine a life that you're going to have when you study less. You know, you get more time for whatever your passions are. Maybe you want to have more time to get into this new hobby. Or you want to spend more time with your family, your friends, or your partner. That is going to be possible once you start applying all these techniques. You know, it's not even that much about getting better grades. Yeah, you are going to improve your grades, but it is more, a lot more about the time that you can, for example, spend with your family, with your like grandparents who are almost like at the verge of dying. They don't have much time left. And so you're going to use that time to spend their last years with them. How powerful is that? Now just imagine that instead of spending time with your dying grandparents, you have to study for this chemistry test. And then later in life, you're going to regret that. Is exactly why I've tried to learn these techniques and methods. Because when we're younger, our time is that much more valuable. Like, of course, when you're going to be older and you're like 30s, 40s, you're going to be to work and you cannot really cheat that. But right now you have the opportunity to like take the time back that you would have otherwise like wasted. Honestly, it's just a wasted time because most of the things you don't even care about, most of the subjects are like pointless. Like, yeah, there are probably a few that you like, few that you really enjoy and are thoroughly deep into the topics. But that's not most of them. That's not even the majority. So I don't want you to go through school hating yourself just because you've wasted your time studying when you could have saved it and spent it on something that is that much more important to you. And so for these reasons, I want you to learn even more. So go to the link in the description and check it out. And also subscribe if I've given you value. Now, of course, there is no value given if you don't actually use the self-testing method. You need to actually try and use it. But hey, subscribe for more of these videos.